But again, that is assuming he succeeds.
Yeah, that's assuming he succeeds at what his vision is of this metaverse.
Because, and people in the Studio Blue Discord server mentioned this earlier today. That's a big no. First off, let's see what our man here, which is John Carmack.
Yeah, John Carmack.
He is the, I think he's the ex-CEO. Yeah, he's the ex-CEO. No, he's not. He's ex-Facebook.
He's the consulting CTO.
Right, he's ex-Facebook. Now he's a CTO for Oculus.
Right.
Okay, he doesn't think this is possible. He's highly skeptical. And he actually supports the metaverse. He wants the metaverse to occur. He just doesn't think this is the way it's going to happen.
Zuckerberg's vision is not how the metaverse will unfold.
Right. He's very doubtful about the plan. I'm not going to go ahead and read every aspect of the article.
Yeah, you guys can click on the article and read it. Carmack lays out very, very good points.
It's on CNET, so it's one of the sources that I do like to cite. And we will, of course, for your VOD people, put it in the description of the video. But yeah, let's not talk about this for a second. Let's just talk about this. He is really doubtful this thing is going to work.
Yeah.
And he has every reason to be, because first off, what exactly is the metaverse going to do? And I mean, how is it going to do it?
Yeah.
How do you connect everything to one thing? Let's go back now to my original conversation about the internet.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. The internet was built under the idea of transferring information like emails, HTML, etc. The internet was not built in order to have a centralized place, because the internet by itself is decentralized. So by its very nature, the concept of Facebook's metaverse is a paradox. It's paradoxical. You want to have a centralized hub for all stuff that anyone can reach, but you can't have that on the internet.
The internet, yeah. Let me just jump in here. The internet wasn't built like that. It was built to connect one space to another space.
Right.
One closed space to another closed space. So then they can communicate with each other.
Right.
And over the decades, you've had more closed spaces connecting with each other. But it's still, at the end of the day, a whole bunch of closed spaces, which is what I call fragments.
Right. And these fragments connect through a little bit of code, usually called an API. That's most of them. And these little places connect through these APIs, and that's how they communicate. That is how we're able to put on our Discord server whenever one of our videos on YouTube goes live to the public. But the internet was not built to be a place where everything just automatically connects in a central point. Neither was it created to be a place where an identity moves freely.
Exactly.
So on a hardware level, the concept of the metaverse doesn't work.
Because let me just give some examples here. I gotta jump in here. That you've got Snapchat and Instagram for your photos. You have Messenger and Discord for talking. You have Facebook and other things for social media. You've got web pages, and you got informational web pages. You have storefronts. HTML storefronts and other types, CSS storefronts, WordPress,
driven by CSS.
Guys, this
JSON.
is all so fragmented. They're only connected because we're able to jump out there and type in a URL to get to them.
And every single one of those URLs,
but it's closed,
connects to a domain that is held by one of those domain management companies. And every single one of those domain management companies connect that domain to hosting space that's held by a different company. GoDaddy. I know there's other things. Blue Gator. Just pick a place.
Pick one. Right.
Pick a place. There's hundreds of them. Countless.
So the internet as we have it today is very proprietary, closed. You have all these hundreds of little gatekeepers, thousands of little platforms. and each one is not willing to give up their turf.
No. And let's build on that, because now we're getting to the crux of the matter. In order for something like this to work from the very beginning of the internet, so we have to hit the Wayback Machine.
Yep.
There needed to have been a true standardization of online application creation where everything was using the same thing. Because APIs break. Anyone who's ever been in software development, hey, if you're a software developer in chat, raise your hand.
Oh,
you know APIs break.
Oh, quite often.
Okay, especially if there's an update between codebase A and codebase B, APIs break all the time. There's never been a standardization of anything so that something on GoDaddy can seamlessly integrate with something on Blue Gator. It just doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. So we're not even getting into the Ready Player One Metaverse BS. We're just talking about having full connectivity of all apps and all identities across the internet.
Right.
Yeah, like Tazen said, sometimes all it takes is an update, and Tazen does do software dev. So
absolutely, Tazen, you know.
You know, it can just break. So that's the problem, is off the bat, before we even get to the BS of trying to make pretty avatars floating around and high-fiving each other as you go from one activity to the next, it's not possible by virtue of how the internet is put together. All those closed fragments that Teal's talking about. You know, all these APIs that break literally if you fart on them the wrong way. Everything on the internet is built to be insular and to connect only when both sides allow it.
Exactly.
So to say that you're going to build a metaverse is going to say that you're going to build a platform that either through invitation or compulsion or any combination thereof is going to connect every single one of these little fragments together to where not only do they all communicate, but the identity between them is shared, and that is the height of hubris.
Yep.
To say that you're capable of building something like that.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to very briefly jump into the Ready Player One aspect, because I want to dispel this. I don't think most people who take the metaverse seriously, and I mean seriously, I don't mean the hype, I mean from a technological standpoint, like Mr. Carmack here, John Carmack. I don't think that they're thinking it's Ready Player One where you're going to put your head in a deep dive outfit like Sword Art Online and suddenly you're floating around like in Ready Player One. I don't think they actually think that, because the technology for that just doesn't exist. It's not there. It's not going to be there anytime soon. Hopefully in my lifetime I'll see it, but that's not what they're talking about. They're talking about connecting everything, whether it be through a headset or a flat screen or whatever, and all that BS we just dispelled, because that technology doesn't exist because it wasn't built to be that way.
Right.